Okay, so apparently they're teasing Shin Godzilla 2, which is the most exciting news ever. That's like the Godzilla movie I'd want a sequel to more than anything. We got to the point where his tail was starting to like develop those little humanoids, and that really could have just gotten disturbing as hell if that like kept playing out. I hope to God somehow he'd reactivate though in the sequel. I don't know. I guess we'll get into it today. Dangerville is going to fill our faces with knowledge, and it's going to be beautiful. Leave a like, subscribe to them, and let's get into it. I'm excited for knowledge.
What a wonderful day!
Welcome home, residents. It's your Mayor Alistair back once again with some radioactive atomic news for you. Bloomberg just confirmed a few things that have completely set the stage for the new few years of Godzilla. And honestly, I don't think you're ready for what I'm about to say.
Oh, damn.
In a recent earnings report, it was revealed that Toho's full library of 38 Godzilla films has made a staggering $3 billion worldwide. That's already huge. But what's even more exciting is what Toho plans to do next. They've officially laid out the strategy to make Godzilla a global entertainment icon, not just in Japan, not just in the West, but everywhere.
Woo!
And if what's being planned actually happens the way it sounds, this might be the biggest era for Godzilla ever.
No way,
Godzilla's been around for over 70 years now. He's ruled the Japanese box office, made a name for himself in Hollywood, and become one of the most recognizable characters in all of cinema. But now, he's about to get even bigger. Toho has multiple new Godzilla films in active development, and two of them are actually just shocking, like completely out of left field. But they sound awesome, and I can't wait to tell you about them. So yeah, if you thought -1 was peak, just wait, because we are officially entering a new era of Godzilla, and it's going to be massive.
I'm so
Today,
excited
we're gonna break
right
down
now.
everything we know. But
Wow.
listen to Godzilla when he says subscribe already, because 70% of you aren't, so do it, or else I can't prevent what he's going to do to you.
Sounded like a
Now let's get to
sexual
the
threat.
news. Starting off with something we've all speculated on, is that Toho has confirmed that the -1 sequel will be coming as soon as next year. We all
Woo!
figured it would.
I looked
but
at my
here's
calendar.
confirmation. And from the wording, it sounds like it will really be a follow-up to the 2023 film, instead of just another original project. This means it will likely continue the story of -1, exploring Japan post-World War II, led by Koichi and Noriko, as we learn how the world is
good,
coping
I love them.
following the Godzilla attacks. Will we finally figure out what the mark on Noriko's neck means? Does she now have a connection to Godzilla? Is it going to turn her into Biollante? Or is it just a literal permanent mark representing the trauma experienced on that day?
God, I
honestly
hope it's the
can't wait to
Biollante
find
one.
out. It's been decades since Toho's
Biollante?
done a proper sequel. But it's not the only sequel that's been confirmed, but we'll get to that later.
I'm so due for a
First, I
-1
want to talk
rewatch.
about this. Remember this promo that was released to celebrate Godzilla in Southeast Asia? Seen stomping across Marina Bay Sands, Gardens by the Bay in Singapore, the Petronas Twin Towers in Kuala Lumpur, and Bali's Paddy Fields. It left pretty much all of us confused because what was it for? Is this for the -1 sequel? What's going on? Well, it turns out Toho has set up a subsidiary in Singapore, and it's for a massive reason. The Bloomberg article confirms that a new film is being developed for the Southeast Asian audiences.
What?
This followed the announcement that Toho will be expanding their reach into China in hopes of growing the fan base. Remember their World of Godzilla announcement a few years back? Well, here it is in play. Who knows if this design will stay though? This seems to be just a modified -1 design used for the promo as a way of saying, hey, I'm here. But who knows? It's honestly sick, and I love that green atomic glow. If you want to hear us talk more about this design specifically, then check out our video on the twisted new Godzilla design. The decision to expand into China is actually huge because Riot, the makers of Ultraman, have already done the same thing. And now earnings from China has completely overtaken Japan by 3 times the amount. Ultraman toy sales in China have overtaken Disney.
What?
It's literally
That's
bigger
actually
than Star
insane.
Wars over there.
Really?
Compared to Super Riot's growth in the West, which apparently hasn't been that impressive, growing a mere 0.01 billion. The response from China has been massive by comparison. So if Godzilla
Dude, hell
can
yeah,
do the
go
same
China.
thing and gain a massive audience in Asia, we could be looking at a true
stuff.
world of Godzilla. Legendary have helped Godzilla become an icon in
Oh,
the West,
Chimo.
and now Toho's films are being seen more than ever before, And now with this expansion, Godzilla could become even bigger thanks to China. So this could be monumental for the future of the King of the Monsters. So
That's
what
it.
does this
I'm
mean
learning
for the
Mandarin.
film itself? Chances are this basically means it'll feature Chinese actors and the Southeast Asian locations, like what was seen in the promo, which means it'll appeal more to the Chinese audience, but won't necessarily stop the rest of the world from watching it either. If -1 continues to be more of a drama, perhaps China's film will lean more into the classic action-heavy films pre-Shin Godzilla, with
That'd be
Godzilla
so great.
fighting another giant monster. I would honestly love to see that. Now, this isn't even where the news stops, because Toho also made a surprise announcement in the article. They are indeed planning a sequel to Shin Godzilla. Yes, Shin Godzilla 2 might actually be happening. After -1 released, we thought the open-ended finale to Shin Goji would never
God, I
be
miss
explored.
Kaiju Universe.
But finally, it looks like we might actually find out what this all means. Godzilla evolved several times throughout the film, and his last-ditch attempt at survival was becoming the ultimate predator, humanity, with the horrific mutated humanoid forms sprouting from his tail. Will the sequel delve more into this evolution, or could we see him defrost and grow even larger, or maybe even sprout wings like what was seen in that original concept art?
I'd absolutely love
There's
either of those
limitless
so much.
possibilities with something like Shin Godzilla. If -1 is the more classic traditional Godzilla film, Shin Godzilla is body horror manifest, where what Godzilla really represents can be twisted into almost anything. So personally, I'd love to see these humanoid Godzillas come to life. Maybe there's a Godzilla cult that wants to see him released. After all, we did see crowds of people calling it God. But how would you like to see Godzilla evolve? Let us know in the comments below. However, I do worry that they might oversaturate the market with Godzilla films.
Ooh,
People
that's
care
possible.
enough about the G-Man right now because his films are still rare enough where they're still a big event. But if they have films coming out left, right, and center, then people will just get tired of them, like what
Godzilla
happened towards
fatigue.
the end of the Showa era, where simply nobody cared. Toho clearly doesn't want to go years without releasing a Godzilla film, like what happened between Final Wars to Shin, or between Shin and -1 again. But they may be overcompensating by releasing something every year. But hopefully they're aiming to make films that appeal to
Call of
different
Duty effect.
audiences. Some want the drama, some want the horror, and some want whatever the Southeast Asian one is going to be. To summarize just how big this news actually is, we'll be getting Monarch Legacy of Monsters next year, the Godzilla
There's my boy.
-1 sequel, Godzilla X Kong Supernova a few
Titanus,
months
bro.
after that, a Shin Godzilla sequel, and a Southeast Asian Goji film as well. And that's not to mention the 4D Godzilla ride and the Godzilla X Kong ride coming soon. The future is looking
yeah, that one's in,
stacked for
South
the King of
Korea.
the Monsters, and I'm
all
all
over.
here for it. We are literally in the golden age of the franchise, and I couldn't be happier. There's something for everyone here, and I couldn't imagine any fan of the series being unhappy with this news. But which news gets you the most hyped? -1 sequel coming next year, Shin Godzilla 2, or the prospect of a Chinese Godzilla? Let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe and stomp the notification button to become a resident of Dangerville.
I've got my
today.
opinion
Give us a
ready,
big
but I'll let the
Titan
outro
side
play
love.
out 'cause I'm a
I've
gentleman.
been Alistair, and we'll see you residents in the next one.
Also, it's just good music. I'm gonna go ahead and lean towards Shin Godzilla 2. I know obviously everyone's gonna choose -1 too. Obviously, it was an amazing film, like one of the coolest Godzillas ever. Amazing plot, more drama. The only Godzilla film to make people actually cry in like the last like many years. I'd say ever since Destroyer dropping Godzilla Jr. kind of messed me up. I didn't cry though, but I was certainly bummed out. But Shin Godzilla, the deformed freaking monstrous version of Godzilla that's just so unbelievably disgusting and awesome, rapidly evolving, spewing blood all over the place, turning into a freaking humanoid monster or something far worse. The possibilities are amazing. I just hope they actually adapt one of those crazy scenarios and don't make it all lame and stuff, but I'm sure it'd be good. This was a good video, dude. I'm very excited for the Godzilla franchise now, which is sweet because we really haven't had much in the past year or so, which is understandable. Toho just dropped Gold, Monsterverse just dropped their version of Gold, and now they're making their next project, so it's understandable. We've had nothing for a while. But yeah, leave a like, subscribe to Dangerville also because they're freaking awesome, and I'll see you next time.